Page 12, Worrisome Blues. Apparently this is a blues piece. I'm a little concerned because the author has indicated to play the eighth notes evenly, and in a blues piece you would do that. So it's like the first line. They want it this way. Where in a true blues style, in my opinion, you would swing the eighth notes. However, the author said to do it evenly, so we'll do them evenly, because that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know. I'd like to discuss a few things about this piece. I want to point some things out. Make some suggestions. The melody's in the right hand throughout this, so you bring out the melody, of course, and that's not a real problem. Take a look on page 12 on the second line. I'm not going to change it, I want to point it out. The fingering. That B, the half note B, the first note you're going to play with second finger. And then watch the fingering for the eighth notes. It's 1, 3. And then you cross over in the second measure to get the third finger on the D. It's okay. You just got to be aware you got to do it. Then in the last measure, those... Now, you got a little grace note, but you can handle that. Some people will play that right before the beat. I play it on the beat. Very quickly. Either way, it's quick. But you do it however you think is right, I guess. Third line. Watch the second measure. The 16th notes. 1E and a 2E and a 3. 1E and a 2E and a 3. 1E and a 2E. So on the 16th notes, the first 16th note is tied, so you're just hanging on to it. In the left hand, you're going to play the G. And then you'll play the B flat, and then you'll do the A and the B in the left hand at the same time. And then the G. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you got to work that one out slightly. It's a little confusing to count while you're playing there. You think it. You get it again on page 13, but it's the same thing. If you can get it here, you got it there. Last line on page 12. Second measure, you got bass clef in the right hand. So now you're down here. It's still melody, but that melody's down here. Just follow their fingering carefully, you'll be fine. Top of page 13. Watch the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. I got that little note at the second measure. Yeah, you'll be fine. Same rhythm in the last measure on the first line there on page 13. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now on measure 16, you got a half note coming up, so make sure you hold it down. Now if you don't like moving your hand way up in here, then you can play that with the index finger and do the C with the little finger. So that's fine, then you can keep your hand out. At the bottom of page 13, last two measures, again it's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you connect the F sharp to the E. That's melody. In the left hand, let's take a look at this. Right at the beginning on page 12. Follow it carefully. It's 5, 2, 1, 5. Now you got to hold that down because it's tied, and just play the D sharp and A. And this is all over the place, so you're going to hold that fifth finger down. Even though the pedal's down, doesn't matter, you just got to hold it down. You get down to the bottom of page 12. Second measure, you're starting with a C down here, then you got to cross the left hand over the right, because it's treble clef, and play that C minor chord. And then you back down here as an AVA under it there in the last measure, the G, down here. and then cross over again because it's treble clef, and then back down at the top of page 13, and cross over, second measure, it's an 8VA under that G, you're down here again. And this continues on for the rest of that line. On measure 16, use 3-1 for the chord, and then the 16th notes, and then you're coming down. We want to hear this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, like so. On measure 17, the first chord is here. I recommend you figure the D, F sharp with 3-2. And then you're ready. Measure 18. Last few notes, you have a B, and then another B, and then move up. So the octave first. That's fine. We have to do that sometimes. Now in the last measure, these are very, very soft, and you're getting, it's a molto ritardando. Molto means a lot. So this is like slow down a lot. So and then you're getting really, really, really soft. It's like 3 Ps. That's a piano pianissimo. It's really soft. That last note is super soft. You play it just as soft as you possibly can. And again, rather than going straight down, go at an angle, and the key will go down slower because you're at an angle, pushing it down at an angle, and that makes it softer. And then let your wrist come up just a little bit on the last note. I'm just kind of doing this with it. Pedaling wise, I got all kinds of suggestions on this pedaling. Mainly because if you play it the way they're suggesting it, it gets really blurry. Now maybe that's the effect the author is after. I don't know. They're suggesting legato pedaling, change it every 2 beats throughout most of this. And if I play it that way to give you an idea what it sounds like, then this is what it sounds like. I think that's very blurry, and I personally just don't care for that. If you don't mind it, then by all means go with it. But I'm going to recommend that you lift the pedal up around beat 2 or 3, depending on the situation, so we don't get the blurriness at the end of the, or anywhere there's 8th notes or 16th notes or whatever going on. I would prefer the pedal be up during those. So at the beginning, I'm going to lift the pedal after I play the half notes in the left hand. In other words, I just don't pedal the last 2 beats. And I think that's a much cleaner sound. If that silence in the left hand is bothering you at the end of the measure because there's a little bit of silence, then push the pedal down on the last half of the last beat. It's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the end of 4, push the pedal down, but make sure you change it again on the measure because it's down and then right back up and down again. Something like this. Something to that effect. I don't mind the silence, so I'm gonna, and it's trickier pedaling it that way. I don't mind it, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave the silence in. So I'm only gonna like pedal the first 2 counts or so, and when you get to parts like measure 8, where in the second beat you got these 16th notes, well, if I pedal it, it's this. I don't know. Frankly, I would prefer to lift the pedal up for those. I could put it down on the 3rd beat if I had to. But I don't have to to. I can lift it up there after, right on the second count on that measure. Now on measure 18, that you're going to have to pedal pretty much the first two counts and then the last two counts, except bring the pedal up so we hear a break before the right hand plays that last note. So it's here. And then you could do it. So there, that we can do the whole measure. When you get to the end, the last two measures, there you can go ahead and legato pedal both measures because you're very soft, you're slowing down, and we don't want any silence in there. And when you lift the pedal up at the end, lift it up slowly. Don't just lift it up because you have this sound. And if you lift it up abruptly, the sound just stops. Now if you lift it up slowly, at the end of the fourth count, it doesn't just stop, it dies away. It's hard to do. Depends on your piano and how well it's regulated and all that, and I don't know about electronic pianos if that works or not. You have to experiment. Let's try this out slowly. It is a slow piece anyway, it's 76, but we're going to go slower than that. I'll give us 4 counts. It's a 4/4 time, and let's try it. So the left hand starts here, and the right hand's up here, and the foot's on the pedal. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and go, and. I don't know if there's recordings of this or not, but to give you an idea of what it might sound like, I'll play part of it. I don't do these demos a lot on these because I don't want you copying me too much, but this is sort of what I think it might do.